Welcome back, DC fans. Today I have for you the Justice League Fast Forces set from the new 52. We're going to take a look at the new 6 figures in this Fast Forces set, take a look at the two-sided map, and check out the figures and see how well they perform. So as you can see here, we have Wonder Woman, Flash, Cyborg, Superman, Green Lantern, and Batman. You cannot ask for a better lineup. So let's get right to it. Let's go over the figures and let's just see if these figures are worth the purchase. So here we have Wonder Woman. She is 100 points and she has Amazon, Justice League, and Warrior keywords. So those are 3 pretty decent. Amazon and Justice League is to be expected, and Warrior also. 100 points, not bad. She is a grounded character, single attacker, no indom. She has 0 range and standard damage. So very simple, no team ability. So 100 points, we're getting straight stats. So let's see how good those stats and powers are. She has a trait, Amazon Warrior. After Wonder Woman has been carried, she may be given a non-free action if she has not already been given one this turn. So let's take a look at this trait. You can be carried and then be given an action afterwards. She has charge. So typically you cannot do anything if you've been carried. So this is one of the first characters in the game right now that can actually be carried and be given an action after it's been carried. So that's huge. Darkseid has an ability that he can do that as well, but it's based off of keywords and you have to be under a certain threshold, about 125 points. So this is remarkable. So what you can do is carry her with a flyer when she is dropped on the map, and after the reaction resolves from the carry, she can be then given a power action. She can be used to charge, or if you're next to someone, just attack straight up. So this is very, very nice. Quickly going through the dial, we start off with charge. Then we have leap, climb, blades, close combat expert, and vulnerability. Very nice. Flurry, blades, and that special on defense. It is combat reflexes and toughness. So that's really, really nice. Looks like we have blades and flurry. Leap, climb, flurry, close combat, combat reflexes and toughness. We bump up attack, and we are KO'd at 7. So after looking at this figure, the trait is going to come into play tremendously. You might want to push her. You can literally carry this figure around, drop her next to someone, and then have her attack. This is disgusting, and she's probably my favorite figure so far from this Fast Forces set. So here we have Cyborg. Keywords are Justice League, Metropolis, and Star Labs. And he comes in at 75 points, no team ability, no trait, and no special powers. So what are we getting with this guy for 75 points? He has 6 range, invulnerability 17, enhancement 3 damage. Okay, so not anything crazy, but he's got leap climb, so he can get around pretty good. Alright, so second click you see a whole nother power set. He's got leap climb again, but now he has pulse wave and outwit. Now we go back to enhancement. Now we go back to pulse wave and outwit. Now we go to enhancement. Now we go to regeneration, and he's KO'd. For 75 points, he can do pulse wave for 3 damage and outwit. Now that's really, really nice. This figure is not gonna, win you the game outright for his sheer power and being able to get into the attack really quickly because he does not have a move and attack. But with positioning and for 75 points, the potential for a secondary attacker with him is crazy. Now you pair him up with a TKer, TK him out, and now he has a 10 attack doing 3 damage with pulse wave, and before you attack you can even outwit. So that's really, really nice. I think the potential for him is really high for his points. Let's take a look at the fan favorite Superman. Definitely a very nice looking sculpt. He is 125 for points, Justice League, Metropolis, and Reporter. And he has a special move attack. Superman can use charge. When he does, he breaks away automatically, and all hit characters are knocked back 1 square after the action resolves. So this is very nice. You cannot tie him down when he has this move ability, which he starts off with, and he's a flyer and he is in Dom. So you can pair him up with Wonder Woman, and then Wonder Woman can then be given an action afterwards. So this is very, very nice. Let's go through the dial real quickly. We have a 10 attack, but 11 movement, 18 impervious, and we're doing 4 damage. Straight up charge, 10 attack. Now we have that special charge. Now we have exploit weakness with super strength to do 5 damage. Exploit weakness is very nice. We have a 9 attack, 2 damage. Now we jump back up to the special charge, and we have close combat expert. So you can't use those together, but you could charge, then next turn, because you have in Dom, you can push, you could do the close combat expert. Now we get a boost in damage, go back down, and then he is KO'd. Looking at this figure, he definitely is kind of back and forth with the damage and attack, charge and no charge, and with the special charge. It's very, very interesting, but you have to take into consideration he is 125 and he is in Dom, and pretty much throughout his whole dial he can get through damage reducers. This is a very nice Superman for 125. He's not going to be able to take on too much. Defense was not the strong point with low defenses and low damage reducers, but he starts out pretty good and then just piddles down towards the end. But a Superman for 125, you can fit on any team. I definitely recommend it. So here we have Green Lantern, 100 points, and this one actually has a team ability, the Green Lantern team ability, which is very nice. You can carry up to multiple characters. It's very, very nice. So then we have Coast City, Green Lantern Corps, and Justice League. So far we've seen they're not heavily on the keywords, but they still give you some good keywords and the ones that you come to expect. He has probably the best ones for Green Lantern, Justice League, and Coast City. Not very bad. Let's talk about some of the powers and his dial. Now he's a flyer. He's a sharpshooter, which means he can make ranged attacks at close combat. So even if you base him, he can still shoot you. He's got 8 range with 2 targets. Run and shot, TK, willpower at 18 and 3 damage. I love this starting click. This has a lot of potential to do a lot of good things. Especially pair that up with the team ability, being able to carry multiple characters. Very, very nice. Let's go through the dial here. Now we get a boost in our attack. Our damage goes down, but now we have ranged combat expert. So we have more damage potential here. Now we have a really interesting power. Not too many Green Lanterns have Pulse Wave. On our 3rd click, we gain Pulse Wave. We're only doing 2 damage, but that is nice. Now we have a totally new set of powers with Barrier and Probability. Here's Pulse Wave again with Probability. That's very nice. And Force Blast. We end our clicks with Regeneration and Force Blast, and then we are KO'd. Relatively speaking, this is actually a pretty short dial for a Green Lantern figure. He is 100 points, and he has the team ability, and with all of those run and shot, TKs, willpower, sharpshooter, 8 range, 2 targets, and Pulse Wave, you get a lot of action within those 100 points. I think this is a very nice Green Lantern, and I definitely would recommend him on almost all Justice League teams or Green Lantern teams. I think this figure fits the bill as a good Green Lantern figure, but he's a couple clicks short of the average Green Lantern, and some of his powers are lacking just a tiny bit. So this is very, very nice. I like this figure a lot. I love the high defense with willpower. Yes, he doesn't have energy shield deflection or any damage reducers. It still is not bad, and he rounds out the clicks with a regeneration click to even get some of that life back. Flash, this is probably one of your highest wants when you buy this Justice League set, just behind Wonder Woman. Flash, Central City, Justice League, and Police. He has the Police team ability, which is very, very nice. He is 125, and he has a trait. Flash can use super senses, but evades on a 4 through 6. That's paired up with his energy shield deflection, which he gets a +2 if you target him from range. So it's 17, now he's a 19 from range, and he has an unoutwittable super senses that he evades on 4 through 6, which is very nice. That's 50% chances of evading. At the end of his dial, he gets a power for movement. He can use charge and flurry together. That's very nice. Let's look at the dial and see if he's worth that 125. So you have 14 movement, 10 attack, the 17 energy shield deflection and super senses, and you have perplex. So you have to look at what you want to do. Your attack is pretty solid, but your damage is a little lacking. You're not going to get through damage reducers. So a lot of the times you're probably going to need to use this perplex for damage to get up to 3 until you can get the damage reducers off the map. With the PD, now if he's adjacent to a friendly character attacking and this figure can see the opponent, that opponent's defense goes down by -1. It's very similar to Hydra, it's just the DC version. So you can run out there with hypersonic and then run back and then use the PD team ability, which is very nice. For 125, you're going to need to use all of the tricks and knowledge to use this figure to the fullest. Not because it's a bad figure or a very difficult figure to use, but with his damage output, you're going to need to use it effectively. So he drops off on movement, but he gains outwit. So now you can get through damage reducers, but you still have the 2 damage. Now you lose an attack, lose defense, but you gain perplex again. Now we lose defense even more, still holding strong with the 2 damage, but now we have outwit back. But you still have the 12 movement, so you're still going places very fast. Now we lose hypersonic and we gain the charge and flurry. Our stats get boosted a tiny bit with our defense, so it's a little bit easier for us to survive. Our perplex comes back with 2 damage, holding firm with 2 damage. We lose damage powers and we still have the charge and flurry. This Flash is a very nice looking figure. I highly recommend picking this one up just for this figure and Wonder Woman, even though all the rest of the figures are very good. This one needs to be played very smart, even though he seems to be overpowering with his trait with super senses, but the damage output and his attack need to be a little bit more improved for 125 points. But when you wrap everything together, it is perfectly costed. You just need to play him properly. Make sure you use the PD team ability. Make sure when you use perplex, you're using it to do damage. If that means boost up your attack or boost up your damage. Pair this up with the rest of the figures to get to a 300-point team, and it's going to be very effective. Our last, but certainly not least, figure is Batman. At 100 points, he has Detective, Gotham City, Justice League, and Martial Arts. He has a trait, which is when it is not your turn, lines of fire drawn to Batman are blocked unless a friendly character has taken damage this turn. This is the reason why he does not have the Batman team ability, which would give him stealth. It's pretty good because you don't actually need hindering terrain for this to work, because it's not even giving you stealth. It's saying lines of fire to you are blocked, period. So that is very nice. But you want to make sure that if you think one of your characters is going to take damage and that it will then set him up to be attacked, you might want to plan accordingly. He has Indom, so he can push. He also has a special attack. Batman can use Incapacitate, as if he has 3 targets. Wow, this is really good. He only has 6 range, but if you use Incap, you're targeting 3 people. That's really nice. He ignores friendly characters and hindering terrain, so you can set up a wall of figures in front of him and then he can see through them and still use this Incap, which is incredible. I think for 100 points, if you're using this correctly, this power is probably what you want to use until you have to use something else. You can sit there and Incap 3 people 2 out of 3 turns. This is a very good control figure. We lose a little bit on defense, but this figure, if all lines of fire are blocked to him, you know, he's pretty good. Combat reflexes again. Now we have that Incap power again. We're only doing 1 damage, which is perfectly fine because Incap does no damage. We have exploit weakness of 2, now exploit weakness of 3 damage, and our attack jumps up to an 11 with that end cap power, right before we're KO'd. This is a very different style of Batman that we've seen, but because we've had so many Batmans come, this is a refresher. So here is one of the sides of the maps. This one is rooftops of Gotham City. As you can see, the Batman light is over there in the right top corner, and we have on each side are the purple starting zones. Very, very nice. I think there is some rules to it. We're not going to go over it, but I just wanted to let you guys see the map and how it looked. Very, very cool to me. I think it's very, very nice. And the rooftop, as you see, these are the only gaps right here in between the buildings. There's 2 different elevations. We have like the super elevated, and then it's down to just normal grounded, and then I think this is like even below. I think there's some special powers here. But this is a very, very nice looking map. I can't wait to play this one. And not to be outdone, here is Paradise Island, another outdoor map. This one looks very fun. We have starting zones on each side of the palace, it looks like, and then on the far south side we have a bunch of water. For any of the water characters out, this seems to be a very interesting map for them. And there's even water across the map as like a little pond. This looks like a pretty fun map. There's different elevations, just 1 and 2 with a couple step ladders up to them. There's some statues in the sand, and there's water. I think this is a very fun looking map. Hope you guys enjoyed my review of the Justice League Fast Forces set of the new 52. I think it's one of the best Fast Forces sets out there today. It's very good on team building, very economical figures, and all of the dials are very playable.